I've been waiting the guts of 2 years for a resolution on this Courtney Clenney stabbing Christian Obumseli in cold blood, lying to police officers on multiple occasions, videos coming out, evidence piling up that this chick did some nefarious stuff to her boyfriend, led him along, was absolutely toxic to every single one of her previous relationships. Okay, she was also dating a one-time Mr. Olympia who has regrettably passed on, Sean Roden. Broke his jaw before a competition. And she was out there skating through life, and she just about, if it wasn't for overwhelming public pressure for the Miami-Dade District Attorney's Office to go ahead and, reassess this case, she just about got off with murder. But thankfully, a trial is eventually going to take place, because this was supposed to be resolved. This was supposed to be done and dusted like February of last year, so I'm wondering what's the holdup. In the meantime, we're getting more evidence that she was the worst human being imaginable. This is absolutely wild. OnlyFans model Courtney Clenney is seen hitting boyfriend Christian Obumseli in a video taken weeks before she stabbed him to death in Miami apartment. Obviously, because it includes violence, even though, it's going to be involved in a court case, which I swear to God, it better be televised because I'm going to be watching the hell out of that one. And shout out to Christian for having good taste wearing the Larry Bird jersey, by the way. That must have been in their really expensive, what was that? Edgewater, right? Yeah, they have an apartment in Edgewater, Miami. But all the alcohol, like an empty Patron bottle, a Modelo spritzer or something like that. I think that's a Patron bottle. I don't drink, but, I can at least recognize some glassware. But yeah, she gets violent, and he, well, once again, just restrains her, just like we've seen in that legendary elevator video where, yeah, she would just completely and totally fly off the hook. He would try to restrain her, just going, oh my God, we're doing this shit again. Oh my God. New video has emerged of OnlyFans model Courtney Clenney smacking her boyfriend weeks before she stabbed him to death in the Miami condo. No, it was self-defense. And no, it wasn't self-defense. I just I flung the knife at him like this, and then it just lodged 6 inches into a subclavian artery. Clenney is awaiting trial for murdering boyfriend Christian Obumseli in her apartment in April of 2022. But yeah, she was initially just released before she eventually got snatched up a couple of months later after she was trying to get back into the good graces by going to a rehab facility in Hawaii. Whatever. Her attorneys, oh yeah, right, she's being held without bond, which is kind of sus as well, because okay, she's been in custody for what, over a year at this point in time without a firm court date. Like, what's going on here? Her attorneys say that she was acting in self-defense and she stabbed Obumseli, but yeah, she kind of damned herself, and I do believe that was a police interview where she literally just like described what she did with a knife. I just did this, and it landed right into his neck. Very sharp knife, I guess. But his family and lawyers say that she was the aggressor. In the video released by them this week, Clenney is shown slapping Obumseli and yelling at him during a previous altercation in Aspen. Oh yeah, okay, taking the snow bunny out to the snow range. Interesting. Fantastic. But yeah, you can see, stills that are right there, but I'm just wondering who set up the recording that's right there, or how did this end up descending into madness? But yeah, Courtney, swipes at boyfriend Obumseli in a home in Aspen in early 2022. Holy man. There she is, just yelling at him, and he's trying to de-escalate the situation, and she's just getting absolutely rowdy because nobody ever checks her before, because she's a little white girl, and well, of course everything is going to be fine because nobody has ever checked her before in her entire life. It's unclear how soon before his death the video was filmed. Well, I'm sure you could assess the metadata, but whatever. The footage, filmed by another person in the room, shows Clenney blaming Obumseli for hindering her progress and sobriety. I gotta press X to doubt on that one, because she controlled every aspect of that relationship. I've done several videos on this topic. Feel free to go refresh your memory there. She was the one who was manipulating, and she was the one who was also, flying everybody out, and he was very much under her thumb, because for as much as, it wants to be put out there that, oh, he was a crypto trader, he was a stockbroker, something like that. He's basically managing her incredibly successful OnlyFans and social media presence at that point in time, and she was just basically using him as a gopher and exploiting his nature because he had sick family members at the time, and well, he was caught between a rock and a hard place, had nowhere else to go, and she was doing all of those worst things that feminists like to accuse all of the evil men that purport to uphold the patriarchy that they do. She was doing that to Obumseli. She complains about him flirting with other women, which, oh my God, that just unlocked another memory as well. But there was a recording, an audio recording. She was also, beating up Christian. Again, I know her calling card, right? In a car when he was driving, she was claiming that, oh my God, you're staring at that girl. It's like, she stopped me and asked for directions. I was walking in the other direction. She wouldn't take that as a no. So for her accusations that he was being infidelitous, I don't really think that those carry that much weight. Not completing social media content for her. Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, because he was her manager and telling him she is fed up, which only was actually the truth of the situation. There'd be somebody alive, and there would somebody who would also just simply be back on OnlyFans right now, just doing awful things for cash. He argues back with her that he is done. It remains unclear if the video will be submitted as evidence at Clenney's trial. She and her lawyers are fighting to block the submission of similar footage, claiming she did not consent to the videos being filmed. Well, of course, I mean, if that shows your history of abuse before, you ended up defending yourself against your boyfriend, you wouldn't want any of that material to come in. No, of course not. That would look really bad for you, wouldn't it? Obumseli's family have long claimed that he suffered emotional and physical abuse while dating the model. We've seen, a lot of evidence, a bunch of notes that have come out, and he was significantly wrapped around her very, very violent finger. She tells the same story in reverse. Oh, wow, imagine that. Couldn't come up with your own story. Just had to go ahead and, project what you're doing out there. Her lawyers recently claimed to have proof of another altercation, this time in Las Vegas, during which Obumseli took clumps of hair from her, I'm sure. She gets photographed for a living. If she was missing hair, people would have noticed, and she would have gotten easy sympathy on that one, and there was already a baked-in excuse right there. I haven't made mention of it because I don't think that it warrants anything, but as you can see, she has a very obvious built-in excuse of, oh, I have a very violent boyfriend, and oh, won't somebody please come put a cape on me and help save me from my terrible relationship decisions? I mean, come on, man. The first is in Las Vegas in 2021, where she actually called security and the interview the security officer by police. Cool, you want to go ahead and use those? We'll just go ahead and submit all of those other security cam footage, the body cam footage from the other officers responding in the lead up to your quote-unquote self-defense claim, where you were the one who was being the aggressor, and that security personnel from your hotel tower made the call to the police. I'm just saying, you don't want the damning footage to come into court and you just want to selectively pick one instance in Vegas. I would imagine that there's probably going to be a blanket policy where it's, okay, either all of it or none of it comes in. And well, you don't want the none of it. You might want to have a jury clouded by, oh, it was a toxic two-way relationship and things just eventually went out of sorts. Like, there's a way that you can spin that narrative, but if it just simply comes down to the fact that not even a major league pitcher, not even somebody who is proficient in throwing a javelin could put that knife that deeply into that guy's neck without coming up close and stabbing down with downward thrust. Yeah, I don't think you want that as the only thing presented in court, and I'm just saying. And yet you can see it in the body camera of the police officer. He says he overheard her saying, "Get your hands off of me." And when they got up to the room, clumps of her hair were on the ground. Oh, cool. So she wants to bring in a hearsay bit of video. Whereas, what does she want disqualified? She wants video of her actually beating the brakes off this guy, not admitted as evidence. Okay, totally makes sense. The more I see from this chick, okay, because if there was actual, exculpatory evidence that proves that her self-defense claim has any legs to stand on, I would love to see it. But here's the thing. The longer this goes on, the more it just shows that she was unhinged. She has never been checked, and this is the first time in her life. And unfortunately, it got to this level before somebody finally told her no. And it's just sad that somebody had to lose their life off the back of it. So can we finally get a court date on this one? Because that's what I want to see right here. Okay, we've got is just more comments from lawyers and temporary potential trial dates, but I'll be watching. I'll be paying attention because this is beyond despicable. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.